Oh, there he is. Okay. Just requested for Julian to join.
Hello.
Hey! Awesome, it worked. I've been having tech issues with people going live, so I'm glad that worked with no problems.
I know. Welcome to the future.
I know, right? Is this your first one doing like a joint live?
Yeah, I actually have never joined any live
Oh,
before.
nice. How exciting.
Zoom, Zoom calls work pretty well.
Yeah, totally. I feel like when we're doing like the Facebook Live and Instagram Live at the same time, we have to like set up a computer, set up the phone, try to
Yeah,
repurpose it all.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
very good. All right, I'm just gonna wait for a couple more people to pop in. Thanks again. How's everything been with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's going. Still got a job, still skating, so no complaints really. Just
Good.
maintain going.
Yeah, totally. I'm still like, I feel like I'm starting to lose track of days. So I'm just like, wait, what day is it now?
Yeah, I know
Oh
it's
my
kind of
gosh.
summer's passing by really fast already.
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally. Well, awesome. So, thank you everybody for tuning in, or if you're catching the replay. I'm super excited about today's guest. Anyways, we're both here live from Denver, Colorado, and gosh, I'm super excited about featuring Julian. I don't know how many years has it been now? Like high school?
yeah,
It's
we're
been
over. I
crazy.
think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, like
So,
13, I think, 2000. I graduated 2007, so that's already
oh
13 years.
yeah, yeah, totally. Oh my gosh. Jeez, like flash from the past.
Yeah.
Um, Anyways, thank you again for joining me on another High Achieving Hustlers every Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm always looking to add value for everybody in my audience or shared audiences here. Really want to just be able to give as much value to all of you young professionals and young entrepreneurs out there. And I'm just super excited about today's guest. So I'd love to introduce you all to the epic pro skateboarder, Julian Christianson. So Julian was born and raised in Denver, Colorado, a skateboarder of 22 years and still rolling. Love that. Julian is a skateboard mentor for all ages, artist of many mediums, and a father of three. He is world ranked at theborder.com for street skateboarding. His current ranking is 20th for his age group, age 30 to 39, and his overall ranking in street style skateboarding is 112th in the entire world. Also, he has a skateboard mentoring site, which will be linked down here in the caption or in the replay, theskateboardmentor.com. So thank you so much for being here on this Q&A today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always good to give back to, the younger generation and whatever it is, skateboarding, art,
Mm-hmm.
you got to give back. So,
Yeah,
some,
totally.
someone.
Absolutely. Well, and I feel like that just like sets the stage for, a lot bigger things to happen as well, right? Because I feel like even though 2020 has been as crazy as it's been, I've been trying to have like a bigger abundance mentality, just be able to give back and give as much value as we can. So I love featuring like you and other experts just to join in, just because like all of this stuff is so relevant, even in business as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 1 second,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the lawnmower
Oh,
is running in the back. Let me try to close the window.
no worries. That's how you guys all know this is life.
All right.
All good.
It's
I've
like
done
it.
a live before where I totally
Let
fell
me
out of
grab
my chair,
headphones.
so it's all good. Hey guys, hey Jan, thank you for joining. Okay, can you hear me?
1 second.
Okay, no worries.
All right, cool. Yeah, that way it's easier to hear you. My phone speaker's getting old. I've
Oh,
dropped it a couple times.
no worries, it's all good. Okay, so I guess let's dive in. First of all, can you tell us briefly about your journey and how you got started?
Yeah, I got my first skateboard when I was 8 years old, and it was actually a Target skateboard, had like a cool alien wearing jeans and
Nice.
Converse or something holding the skateboard, and really crappy board is if you don't skateboard, you have to know that if it's not a board coming from a skate shop, um, the board is just kind of generic. It's not made very well. The wheels are really plasticky. they don't they don't roll the same. Sometimes they put weird hardware, like screws and bolts together to where there's like round bolts sticking out the top of the grip tape. And so I learned pretty quickly because originally I got the skateboard to race other kids in my neighborhood down the hill. I lived off of 14th and Federal, and it's a big hill right there. It was a big, they had townhomes and high-rise like apartment complex. So there's so many kids always playing together, and so it'd be like 6 or 7 or 8 kids rolling around on their skateboards or rollerblades or bikes. And right away, I wasn't winning any of the races. So I told my mom, man, my board's too slow. And a couple months later, she took me to BC Surf and Sports down at the Tivoli on Auraria campus when it used to be there, and got my first real skateboard from the skate shop. It was a hookups board and had some independent trucks and like quickies bearings, just a great setup to start with. And I had started to learn how to ollie already with another friend in the neighborhood, and yeah, just took it from there. I learned about skate videos, seeing the X Games on TV around the same time, and was like, wow, you can do all those tricks on a skateboard. All right, I want to do this. And at the time I was playing soccer. So and I actually had a friend on my soccer team who one day had brought his skateboard, and I had tried to learn how to ollie on there in the grass. And that was even before I got my first board. So yeah, just all within this span of like 4 or 5 months, I learned so much about skateboarding. And at that time already seen it in like commercials and random TV shows, Ninja Turtles, or like just little clips here and there of different skateboarding. And it was just really intriguing, and just I just knew that I wanted to learn. And so being in that neighborhood with a lot of kids around, other people had boards, able to kind of fuel each other and motivate each other to learn stuff. And one of my friends, David Reyes, who's now a big professional, and I would say I skate at a professional level, but I'm not pro yet, but I haven't given it up. And, I'm world ranked with some people that are professional. So, I still claim it as a professional. I'm just not getting paid. So
you're too humble.
That's one of my, yeah, that's one of my struggles right now. But yeah, so from that time, just skating every day as much as I could, trying to learn as much as I could about, getting sponsored or contests to go to and how that whole world works. And yeah, I just found love in it, kind of stopped playing soccer and kept skating.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Do you still have your first skateboard, or do you
I don't. I had like the trucks for a long time, but yeah, just they get all old and beat up and chipped, and mom doesn't want to hold on to something with splinters, and
absolutely.
Yeah, so I wish I did. For the longest time, I had one of the trucks because the axle got stripped and I couldn't get the wheel off, so then I just left it in one of my toolboxes, and yeah, not anymore.
All good. Right. So tell us a little bit more about how your mentoring journey got started.
Yeah, so when I was younger, I want to say 17, 18, I was giving a couple lessons here and there to younger kids. I was at the skate park and met some parents who had their kids skating, and they thought I was good and asked if I taught lessons. I said, yeah, $20, I'll teach them for an hour. And
nice.
And I had only done a really like 2 or 3 over the years, over like the last 10 years, but just being with other friends and meeting other skaters at the park, you show people how to do things, and vice versa, they show you. And I mean, over the years, I've had people come back up to me and say, man, you taught me how to tray flip, or you showed me how to do this, you helped me get better at this and that. So and my older sister, she's always been pushing me, trying to get into business stuff. You should start your branding and do more of that. You could be doing a lot more. And so I finally have been kind of getting into the swing of things. And I guess I was just kind of shy about getting started for the longest time, but over the past year, I really started getting back into it more. A couple years ago, I had made some business cards because I had kind of done like a stunt double thing for, I got a friend who knew someone who was doing some commercial for Del Real Foods, and they had a skateboarding mariachi kind of idea. So they had one guy dressed up as a mariachi, and I had the same outfit, fake mustache, sunglasses on, a big mariachi hat, and got to do a little commercial for that at the Denver skate park. So I made some business cards saying, you know, I could do stunt double stuff, or, you know, trying to just learn more about the whole business side of my skateboarding. How do I transform it into the next level? And so now I recently started doing the skateboardmentor.com, trying to build a website through Squarespace, and you know, just trying to figure all of the little details of things, and how to put it together. What, you know, checking out some of the other skate camps and people that do lessons around in Colorado. And I've just kind of realized, I'm like, there's a lot of good stuff out there and a lot of camps, and they all are around a similar price range, but they all have their own facilities, and they're like a skate camp. You know, I'm like, so how do I transform this and help people into learning from someone who's still skating? Because I did notice a lot of the camps, they have older skaters, or maybe they were never sponsored, or they skated but they weren't able to put it to that next level. And so I knew right there, I'm like, I have something here. I have a different level of insight that I can give to young skaters. Yeah, so, and just been working at it now for more seriously, consistently over the past few months, just trying to get into it. I took a small business class, just trying to learn whatever, get more into vlogging, and just really putting it out there. And I've got so much good feedback from community, from people I know, older skaters, young skaters see me at the park. Hey, are you Julian? I'm like, yeah, what's up? And yeah, so I just know that I have a lot of value I can bring back to the younger generation, even the older skaters too, just helping them stay motivated from coming back from an injury. I've broken my forearm, and yeah, just so much. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now, is just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together and figure out how to make it work. And
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. I think that's so inspiring, and I hope that inspires, you know, some of you or anybody catching the replay, just because I feel like I tell my clients this all the time. It's all about taking imperfect actions. And Nike totally nailed it with that phrase, just do it, right? You just got to do it. You just got to put it out there.
Doesn't matter what level you're at. You
Yeah.
know, you just kind of got to get started, because you learn from those failures, or, you know,
Absolutely.
learn what not to do just as much as you learn what to do.
Exactly. Well, and I think it's critical too, just because, like, even if you don't do it right, you know, like, think about all the people that you're not serving. You know, you mentioned there are a couple people that you've already helped, you know, and they come back to you, and, you know, they like remember you, right? Because you've taught a couple of those things. I think that's so awesome, because it's all about making it about them and not making it about you, right? Because you're doing it for them and for the community. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you mentor just anybody that wants to learn, or are you working specifically more with skaters that are looking to go more pro?
Yeah, I mean, that's my passion. So I would love to, you know, you feel so much better when you know you're inspiring someone who's chasing the same dream as you, wants to get sponsored, wants to travel the world skating and win competitions. And now, you know, they have the Olympics. So that's kind of like one of my biggest goals now, is how do I get there? And being able to teach young kids, like I started at 8 years old, and then right on my 9th birthday, I had got my real skateboard, and from there I was really able to make a lot of bigger leaps. And so I knew by like the age of 10 or 11 or 12 that I wanted to go pro. And I was like, oh, when I'm 16, I'm going to go pro, me and David, and, you know, watching Rocket Power and, you know, thinking about all those things. I'm like, I'm going to do it. We're going to do it. And really having that passion in us. So that's really what I hope to have, is, you know, like, it's kind of like with martial arts. You don't take on students that are just, that just want to be the, you know, Jet Li or Bruce Lee or whatever, and want to be the top of their field, or, but you also take on those people that want to learn those self-defense rules. So I'm really, anyone that has a passion for skateboarding, whether they want to go pro or not, I'm willing to teach them. If they just want to get better balance, you know, or want, you know, a parent trying to do it with their kid to just connect more, or someone trying to connect with their friends, you know, like, all of it's cool. If you dig skateboarding, then that's cool. You know, if you like it, that's what it's all about. You know, there's some type of passion in there. And I think you have to really get started before you you learn more about that world before you really decide, oh, all right, I'm going to go for it. As a kid, you play basketball or play sports and you're just doing it for fun. But then once you start to get better at it and you find friends with the same interests, then it really helps you grow that passion. And then you're like, all right, that's what I want to do with my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's really important for people to go after their dreams, right? And what would you say were your biggest challenges that you faced as you were trying to pursue skating full time?
Yeah, so I'm a parent of three now. I had my first son right before my 19th birthday, so that was a big challenge. I think with skateboarding, one thing I've learned is being in California really helps a lot, um, because they have a lot of the industry. They have, so everyone moves out there. They have better skate spots than Colorado because there's, it doesn't snow as much. And yeah, so I think one of the biggest things, not living in LA, having kids. I broke my arm 2011, and so that was kind of a big mental change. It made me wonder, am I really going to be able to skate at the same level? How do I keep going? It's more of a mindset thing, but then I would say just kind of learning about what people want, what the industry wants, sponsors, what do they look for, finding good filmers, being able to make that time to go out and film your video parts, and then skating the contest. That's one thing that really helped me out tremendously and opened my eyes up to the level of skateboarding around the world. So I won the Mountain Dew Free Flow, and it was like the first big contest I won. Went to Encinitas for the final, and I actually skated with Tony Hawk's son, Riley Hawk, and he was a little younger than me, real short, and he did better than me and made it to the finals. And I was just surprised at like the level of skating for some of those skaters there. And even Manny Santiago was there. He won it that year, and now he's pro. And I think like the biggest part about learning anything is you have to kind of know what to do in order to like get started with doing it. And you have to learn the wrong way. Okay, they don't like this trick in the contest, so don't do Benihanas at the contest anymore. Or I need to do more rail tricks, or I'm not consistent enough. I'm not landing the tricks that I am good at in the contest. So just really probably the biggest challenge is learning about that world, practicing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's a perfect segue. Can you talk to us a little bit about competitions? Like, what do you do right now to get into the right mindset?
A lot of things. It's almost like, like the football coach that's sitting there rewatching plays. I'll sometimes watch my old skate contests. That way I'm not maybe doing the same tricks that I've always been doing, because I've realized over the years, like people gravitate into their comfortable spots. So trying to push myself out of those comfort zones to trying a new trick. So going to the park and say I'll put on a song and try to skate the whole song, or time myself and land as many of my best tricks as I can in a row, and if not, keep trying to do it again. Trying to learn that new trick. Sometimes when I'm out at contests, I'll actually, because I'm an artist, I'll take my sketchbook and then kind of draw the skate park and then write down different lines and arrows of which way I'll go, and then go there and practice it on the practice days. But sometimes, like with Zoomies, they would make the park. You don't know how the park's going to look. So you just have to kind of wing it, and sometimes it works in your favor and sometimes it doesn't. Also, the right gear helps a lot. If your stuff is too new at the contest, it can affect you. And it really just depends. Like skateboarding is that way. Like sometimes you have a great board, it's skating really good one day, and then the next day you just don't land that trick during your 30-second run, So trying not to psych yourself out and think too much about it. But, like listening to music for me is really meditative. So I'll go and skate with music on and just try to get in the zone. Or, studying part though is, I think, one of the biggest things, studying what park you're going to be skating, even other skaters that are going to be there, and kind of the same tricks that I've been doing, and trying to see how I can step it up to that next level and get a good trick in that maybe they haven't seen before, because yeah, I think everyone wants to see the new trick, and
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
so
Hey Bree, hey Marquise, hey Lars, thank you guys all for tuning in. Um, yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm really glad that you shared that because I feel like there is an element to obviously that preparation piece, right? And
yeah.
it's like what athletes do all the times, or like, I even think about like Formula One racers, right? Like that. I've watched their interviews and they talk about like how they go to that place. And like you said, you bring out your sketchbook and you like will plan it out really and kind of like
Hmm.
lay it out. It's all about like visualizing and like going to that place, like, really
Yeah.
manifest what that day is going to look like. What's it going to feel like, smell like, taste like? What are you going to be wearing, right? Like
Yeah.
things like that, like actually living that moment. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It's and it's a journey, especially like after breaking your arm, or
Yeah.
sometimes you train too hard and then you hurt yourself before the contest, and then you go in there with this extra thing in the back of your head like, oh man, I have to be careful because now my wrist hurts and I'm skating with my wrist wrapped up, or my hands are all scraped up, or my back is scraped up from skating street
Mhm.
before the contest, and or I have heel bruise. There's so many different
Oh.
aspects to it, and
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So you have to stay on top of your mindset, and you can't be too hard on yourself. But I liked breakdancing growing up, and B-Boy Machine had said something about going to breaking events. Like, yeah, I'm there to have fun, but I'm also there to be serious. It's a battle, It's
Yeah.
I'm this is my career. Like, I'm not just going to have fun. I'm not going to be an ass to anyone there. I'm not going to go there and try to, act like I'm better than everyone. But
Mhm.
in my mind, I want to believe that I'm better than everyone, and I'm going to put my all into that. And,
Mhm.
because I'm trying to make myself better than who I am too at that point.
Mhm.
I'm trying to step it up. Maybe, at the end, I have one more, try left, 5 seconds left on the clock, and I'm trying to get that buzzer trick and try the harder trick down the big, 12
Mhm.
stair or whatever they have there. So the rail. So I think that's really important to really
Mhm.
be serious when you go, but at the same time, knowing that no matter what, even if you don't win, that it's all right. It's something to learn from and just kind of move on.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you shared that because like that's what I tell people all the time, right? I'm like the only competition you have should be yourself. It's like how
Yep.
can you do better than you did last time, right? Do better than
Yeah.
you did yesterday. So that segues into my next question. So how do you deal with failure personally, right? Like how do you get back up and keep trying? Because I know like after a competition that you've like mentally prepared so much for, like that can also be really hard for some people too.
Yeah. It's back to that Nike slogan. You just got to do it.
Hmm.
As skateboarding, you fall down all the time. And, it's similar to other sports. Football, you get knocked down. Basketball, you can twist your ankle, or, you get fouled, and you just have to get back up. And
Hmm.
you'll feel the pain and you'll be hurting at the time. But um, like say I fall down in a contest and really hurt myself. Trying not to beat myself mentally about it, but just take care of the injury. And if you kind of have to weigh it out, like, all right, can I try one more time, or am I too hurt? And you have to be able to make that decision. If you're too hurt, don't try it again, because you can get even more hurt, and you know, which takes even more time out of your skating. But like failing, say I went out to Tampa Am and I didn't have the best board. I was skating a semi-old board, skated good in qualifying, set up the new board, and in the semifinals I didn't do good at all. And I was really mad at myself because I put together this board, it didn't feel right, and I still skated it. And it's just something you kind of have to get through.
Hmm.
When you fail, it's not going to feel good, but you just can't give up on yourself and let it beat you up too much. You gotta, it's good to have a little anger about it, because it just shows that you want to do
Yeah.
better and you have that, passion for it. So,
Hmm.
um, you go through that period of time where where you are mad and could even be depressed, like from breaking a bone or whatever it is. So you just kind of have to push through it.
Hmm.
Give yourself a little time to think on it, but then know that you're gonna be back on your same path eventually. You
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. I'm so glad you shared that. Because, I feel like there's so many parallels to like other passions or even like, startups and in business as well. Like
Hmm.
if something doesn't go right, you obviously have to go back and reflect on why, right? So
Yeah,
you need to spend the
always.
time to like like you said, like you need to give yourself that space, like go for a walk, get your mind clear, and then come back and actually analyze, like watch those replays, right? And thinking about that in a business setting too, like you can totally just, look at those variables that you had changed and just see like, what are you gonna change next time going forward, or what are you going to continue to commit to going forward?
Yeah.
So many parallels.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question. I always love to end these Q&As with action steps. What action steps would you recommend as it pertains to, going after your goals, going after your dreams, really just staying in that right mindset to do so?
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I do, not just like studying and practicing but kind of like writing down tricks I want to do, or
Mm-hmm.
I deliver Chinese food too, so I drive around and I see a lot of spots.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'll check it out while I'm driving, or I'll just write it down. Because for a long time, it would come time to go film and I would forget the spot to skate. I would just blank out, and I'm like, no. And living in Colorado for so long, you kind of run out of spots,
Mm-hmm.
but and so you end up skating the same spot. So then I have to, but writing things down really helps to kind of keep a clear goal, writing down the goals. Recently I wrote down a lot of tricks that I want to film, and it was like, so I wrote down like 20 for ledges, 20 for rails, 20 for stairs, um, and then just keeping that list in mind when I'm out filming. So it helps me kind of stay on track. And I would say like one of the best action steps is just to go out and do it, just to try it. If you're at the park and you want to learn a trick, that's the best place to learn it, at the park, because it's smooth, there's no cracks, taking wax with you so you can actually learn the ledge trick. But just trying it, just do it, right? Like Nike, and taking a little step at a time. With skateboarding, it's fail, 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 and then you get that one success. And so it's like you try it for 100 tries. It's taking you 2 weeks, and you finally land the trick, and then you're not happy because you landed it really sloppy, and your toe dragged or your hand touched, and so then you keep doing it and you keep going. It's like Kobe Bryant. You have to do like as many free throws as he can. I think he was doing like 1,000. He would try to be in there working out before someone else came, and he would still be working out when they left, and just kind of pushing himself a little bit farther. So I would say the biggest action step would just be to put in that time, because the more time you put into it, the more you learn. Same thing with skating, sports, music, art, business. You just have to jump right in, and don't be afraid of those failures or injuries, or whatever someone might think. Oh, that kid's a poser, or he's he landed that so sloppy. I mean, I've had friends that had really bad styles, and then they turned out to be really great skateboarders, and even snowboarders. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like people judge right away, right? But I think that's,
Yeah.
you nailed it right there. Like, just do it, right? There's so many parallels across this. And I'm so glad that you came on, and kind of shared this from like the skateboarding perspective, because I feel like there's so many parallels in business as well. And you
Yeah.
just got to go for it. And you can't really care what people think,
Yeah.
because I think
Yeah,
that's
because
the
there's
thing.
always going to be a hater, right?
Yeah, no, totally. Well, and I think that, like, if you start to worry about what people think, you're making it about you, and you're not
Yeah.
making it about the people you're serving anymore, right? And
Yeah.
and I,
Or
I
your
love what,
goal,
yeah, exactly.
your aim, your passion, you're taking
Mhm.
your passion out of it and letting someone else's, passion of judgment kind of get to you.
Totally, totally. Well, and I'm just so happy about what you shared in the beginning too, right? Like, even if it's just a couple people, that you're teaching right now, you've still made a difference in that one
Yeah.
person's life, right? And I see this a lot, especially with like social media, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, I need like 10,000 followers. I need so many
Yeah.
followers." And you know, those are just vanity metrics, right? Like, if you are changing, or like if you think about it in two ways, like one way you could think about it is too, if you're standing in front of like 100 people, right, 100 followers, that's still like 100 people. Like, if you were in an auditorium, that'd be like a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And if you think about it from a sense of, even if you've made the difference in one person, you've still done a really great thing, right? So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly. Yeah, it's always going to be that way. There's always going to be people that don't like it or don't understand, and then there's going to be people that love it, or people that kind of recognize it. Maybe they don't love it, but they're like, that's cool. you're doing your
Yeah,
thing. I don't
like I see.
skateboard, but I could tell that you're having a lot of fun.
Totally,
So
totally.
yeah,
Excellent.
there's so many aspects to it. I mean, another thing I have different
Oh,
philosophies and kind of things about your attitude, positivity. I've been listening a lot to the Bruce Lee podcast, which his daughter
mm-hmm.
does, which is about his philosophies, which I didn't know he was a philosopher, like had degree in philosophy and
Mm-hmm.
like was always journaling, was always writing
I'll
down
check that out.
affirmations.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that
and he would
either.
carry around like little affirmations in his pocket to remind him during the day because even Bruce Lee would get down at times, and mentally his mindset would kind of defeat him. And yeah, it's really interesting. I recommend it for anyone. The Bruce Lee
Yeah.
podcast, it's on Spotify and Apple too. So yeah, check it
Love it.
out.
I'll have to check it out. I didn't know that. So, and I'm all about that, right? Because it all starts up here, right? With the mindset, like you can do things and take action and, have all the tactics all day long. But if you're not spending your time like working on, what's up here, you have to have a really strong like mental foundation. Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah, thank you so much just for sharing your advice and your story today. It's been so inspiring to hear like your journey and where you are now. And it's been nice to catch up too, because I feel like it's been so long since we've had a chance
yeah, it
to
has
talk.
been a little
So
while for sure.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, thanks
Um,
for having me.
so for
I
people,
appreciate you.
oh yeah, no, of course. I appreciate you too. And so for people with more questions on, like mindset advice or skating advice, like how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, Instagram is a
Oh,
great
pros.
resource. Like I've
Can you hear me?
noticed, I've been able to reach out to a lot of skateboarders.
Oh,
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
can you hear me? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
a
was just saying,
little
like,
delayed. Okay.
no worries. I was just saying, for people with more questions on like mindset or skating tips and advice, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, Instagram's a great resource. Facebook. I just started the skateboardmentor.com. They can go on there, sign up, and get a free 3-part video series. You're skating faster, calibrating your skateboard to your body and kind of your
Oh,
your feet
amazing.
positioning and repositioning. And then so if they email me, I'll always check emails and email back to them. May take a little time. That's why Instagram's great because then, you end up on social media a lot and it's a little
Mm-hmm.
easier to get on there. I've talked to people from Chicago or even the Philippines and Italy, young skaters that, have maybe seen a contest video and reach out. So yeah, anyone can always just message me and I'm always willing to kind of respond and give you whatever advice I can. And I'm actually trying to figure out a way I can do maybe some like Zoom call skate lessons and do stuff for people that don't live in Colorado or in the
Mm-hmm.
Denver area, so that some type of digital lesson. Um, One good resource for people is YouTube too. You can always, there's so much free tutorials and, knowledge on there. So take advantage of all of that. And yeah, yeah. Don't be afraid to reach out. I'm a pretty nice
Awesome.
guy.
Yes, well, you guys heard it here. I would definitely take advantage. I'll put Julian's Instagram handle in the caption in this IGTV, or if you're catching the replay, so that way you guys can get in touch. But I always really enjoy our conversations. You're always like a wealth of knowledge, and I'm just super excited for what you have coming up here pretty soon, and what you're doing for people as well. So thank you everyone for tuning in, or for
Same,
catching the replay.
same.
Please, yeah. Please let me know your thoughts and feedback, or if you'd like me to have Julian on again sometime. Any final thoughts from you, Julian? It's like all laggy towards the
I would,
end.
yeah, yeah, I know. Good old
Oh no.
technology. So, I mean, I would
I
just
know, right?
recommend
Okay,
for
cool.
anyone that's trying to pursue anything, you just kind of have to do the research, put in the time and effort. Um,
Hmm.
Especially with skateboarding, it takes a lot of time and effort, and sometimes it can be a money thing, like your clothes or your board are getting old, and don't push yourself too much, but you definitely want to make sure you're pushing yourself a little bit every day, even if you don't get a chance to go skate. Think about it. Play Skate 3 on the Xbox, and just kind of practice your tricks in your head, because there's been a lot of times where I've practiced mentally and then gone to the park or a spot and learned the trick that just don't give up. Got to have faith in yourself as always, and just keep at it.
Hmm. That's great advice. Well, and it just goes back to, you know, the fact that there is no substitute for hard work, but, you know, a lot of parallels in business as well, right? Like, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
if it's a money thing, right? You know, like
Yeah.
you can still, there's still a lot of things that you can do for free, right? So,
Yeah.
well,
Always.
thanks so much for, yeah, there's like a lag here too. But thank you so much for being on
I
again.
know.
I hope everyone has a great day. We'll definitely have to touch base soon. But yeah, thanks again, and I hope you have a good one.
Yeah.
All right, see you later.
Yeah. Thank you
Bye.
too, Monique, and everybody have a good day.
See ya.
Peace. Yeah. Peace.